This week has seen a dramatic turn of events for South Africa's ruling party, where 3 ministers from the party's caucus allegedly called for the president to step down. Some others have said they will quit if President Zuma doesn't resign. In studio to unpack this political developments for us is Tinashe Chuchu, political lecturer at WITS, and political analyst Ralph Mateka. Gentlemen, like I said, and I also tell Fifi, never a dull day in South African politics, but just give us a status update of exactly where we are now and what announcement we do expect later on, Ralph.
Well, I think that the reports that are coming out from the NEC is that talks have broken down, that members were are reported to have been spitting at each other, that it has been very tense within the NEC. I mean, clearly it will not come to a vote because I think members are aware that they cannot stage this as a vote. But there is also procedural issues as well as to whether can you actually use the NEC as a forum to look at the president.
That is a concern for a lot of people. They're saying, well, Zuma might have faulted. The rules simply have to keep him there. Exactly.
And you really need a national conference of the ANC to be able to look into the fitness of the president to hold office. This was just a way for members, I think, to put pressure. It was a way to persuade him. I think that was what was intended. I don't think the ultimate goal was to get him to leave office after that NEC meeting. That was never going to happen.
And Tinashe, let's bring you in. For Derek Heinekom to have tabled this motion of no confidence, I'm sure he would have done it knowing that there are other people who would have backed him, and there are reports that there are 2 other ministers who are calling on this. Although you say that it won't come to a vote, this is serious that you've got ministers now asking the president to step down, and allegedly others saying that they'll quit if he doesn't go.
Okay, I think at the moment you can see that the International Relations Minister, the Agriculture Minister, the State Security Minister is on one side, and we also have the Public Works Minister, who is saying the president must go. But to be honest, the president still has a lot of support. There have been attempts to impeach him, but as it stands, only a national conference can remove him. I think it might go to a vote, but the president still has a lot of support, yes.
Right. Ralph, let's just look at the developments of last week. We had the labor union saying they are supporting Ramaphosa to take over. And now we have, I think this is the most intentional announcement where ministers are saying Zuma should step down. What are Ramaphosa's chances here?
The problem with Ramaphosa is that he seems not to be raising his hand about this. I mean, a lot of people have staked their political life on this. Those ministers who said it from cabinet, clearly they might have to resign. I mean, they cannot continue to serve with the president that they've openly said they don't have confidence in his leadership. That is how high the stakes are. But what have we had? Mr. Ramaphosa is very quiet about this. I don't know, this is a method of lobbying that you don't do it openly, but there is a sense of non-committal that seems to be his character now. He seems to be calculating. I mean, you can calculate to some extent, but at least you need to take a principled stance on this issue and say to people that I stand with you or I stand against you. You cannot wait for processes to finish and then you look at the result and then you look at the position that is most acceptable or the position that has got less consequences. So this could help very well for Mr. Ramaphosa. But I think that there might be some within the ANC who are against Mr. Zuma, who are actually looking for a better alternative than Mr. Ramaphosa. I think that they have to think about this, unless otherwise he comes to table, he pronounces, because the Zuma faction, very strong, fighting openly. The defenders are fighting openly. Then you have also the critics also doing that. But there is Mr. Ramaphosa right almost in the middle of that. But also don't forget, he became the deputy president on Jacob Zuma's ticket. Right.
And Fifi, we were discussing what happened to Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma's candidature in all this. She seemed to have been overtaken by events here.
But she hasn't put up for a second term at the AU, so she is coming back. What are her chances?
Okay, I think her chances are quite good. Of course, I'll try to break it down as quick as I can. Sure. You find that with the chair lady, she has received a lot of praise. Look at anti-apartheid history. She's been health minister, she's been foreign affairs minister, she's also been responsible for the home affairs portfolio. But now she has been criticized for a few things. For instance, some have alleged that South Africa leaving the ICC was something she could have prevented. But at the same time, do voters know this? When she went to the AU, some said she couldn't clean out corruption, she couldn't handle the finances, but do the voters know this? Some said she cleared the pathway for al-Bashir to leave South Africa, but do the voters know this? Some also said that with the Sarafina scandal, I'm now going a bit...
what do you say? Because someone's saying, what do you say?
Okay. To be honest, she's very competent. I do not want to lie. And she has a good chance because the veterans are with her, the ANC Youth League is with her, the Women's League is with her, as well as the Premier League is with her. I think she would be a competent leader. But I was just saying, she also has a lot of negatives that voters might not be aware of. So I was just trying to balance it out.
But then,
Yes.
Ralph, the protocol in the ANC has always been that the deputy succeeds as president. Would this protocol still be followed? Because Nkosazana is not a deputy at this stage.
I don't think there is willingness to follow through this protocol. I mean, look at what has happened in the Mangaung conference as well. We have had these challenges around the deputy. The deputy Kgalema Motlanthe wanted to contest #1 position, whereas actually you don't contest the president when he's attempting the second term. So that protocol is clearly dead. But we also have to be honest. People should openly contest for leadership. I don't think that protocol might have been useful while the ANC was the leader of the liberation movement. But now it's a party that operate in a modern democratic society. It has to be open. What I find disturbing, it's when people are not open about these things. You know, this clandestine
shadowy deals.
Exactly.
Nobody really knows. Yeah.
Raise your hand and say, look, I'm available for this position, and let the party allow this kind of open contest. Let them reinstitutionalize the internal processes so that it can cater for this kind of open contest for leadership.
But certainly the NEC is not going to be the same, and the municipal elections were clear evidence of that. Gentlemen, we have to leave it there. Many thanks for making time. That was Tinashe Chuchu, political lecturer at WITS, and political analyst Ralph Mateka.